Someday I must give up this mad, carefree existence. Very well said, Snoopy. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I was just reading what Snoopy was thinking. Welcome to the Behind the Beat of End 1, my latest single that's out now on Spotify, and it is doing very well. When I say my latest single, it's actually a collab with O-Tracks. So we're going to do a two-parter Behind the Beat this time. I'm about to show you how I've written and produced the song. O-Tracks is going to bring you part 2, in which he covers whatever he decides to cover. Stay tuned, is all I can say about that. But without further ado, please follow me into Ableton. And I'm going to show you how we made this beat. Let's go.
Whoa, sir. Hey, we're in Ableton. So, this track started with writing the melody. I wanted to create something grimy, so I thought, let's put some brass and a few elements together. So I created an ensemble out of 3 instruments. They are, together, an instance of serum, some brass via an Korg M1, and there's this choir pad. You can barely hear it, but it's there. All 3 of those got sent to some parallel processing, like a reverb and stuff in the background. That's all 3 of those together. Now, at that point, I wanted to add some bass. So, this was handmade in Massive. I wanted a distorted sine wave. Really added some hard clipping to it. And further hard clipped it. Rolled off all the subs. That's one bass. Then, I added some subs. Also via Massive. Corpus sub filter boosters on there. There's a lot on just that sub. I started looking at spectrum and just what frequencies were filled with those 2 basses. And it just wasn't enough here. So I added super subs, and you see that really fills out those lower actual subs. So that's 3 basses as an ensemble. If we have a look at that later, the Ableton operator instrument of sorts, all EQ'd out and multi-band on it. Now, what really set it off was this final melody layer, which is a couple of synths, panned, hard right, hard left. So there's ensembles all over the place, right? That's hard right. That's hard left. Together. Now, we've gone over 6 or 7. We've gone over 7 synths right now. But it makes no sense just playing it to you like that without the drums. Now, I use drum loops, which I later converted to be topper layers, as in background drums. But writing this song, I used drum loops to set the entire groove, and then I wrote everything to that. So I've started with the synths. There's so much to cover with these drum toppers, eh? This one's happening whilst this one's happening. Now, I showed you on my Instagram how I made this more metallic using Corpus, right? Plus a bit of a chain. There's chains galore. But the final step of this song, after, hear how that drum and bass are the fundamental element of this song. Now it's all starting to come together. But the real fundamental game changer is when, and I did this last, and this was the main challenge of making this track, was when I used loops to write the whole track. I then converted everything from those loops. I wanted just the kicks and the snares to be MIDI drums. And I put that on a separate layer. And that's what set it off. But I just want to go inside these kicks and snares for a second. What we've got, one kick, two kick, one snare, two snare, three snare, and a snare that I didn't use. But you see, it's two kicks and a collection of four snares. Now, this ain't groundbreaking stuff. This is like, if you're a producer, you'll know that you effectively get a collection of snares and create a brand new snare out of it. So if I turn this off, like, I like that part of it. Different snare in the verse, same kick. But the main interesting point of this track was I used a cowbell in the verse snare. Now, once again, Corpus. One thing about Corpus is if you set that to membrane, it is like adding a drum skin to anything. So I've effectively added a drum skin to a cowbell and tuned it to be in tune, rolled it all off in the frequencies to be the only part that I wanted. And now we have a cowbell snare. Turn it up. Know what I mean? So, that was the main challenge of this track, was getting out of the drum loops a collection of kicks and snares that really gave this track the bounce. And I mean, I could go into how I achieved the bounce, but it's a lot of trial and error and production tips. Look, the one thing that I will cover, because I feel like I've covered it all the synths have been covered, the ensembles, the bass, but what happens in the bridge. Got this. A wubby bass. Watch this. Now, whilst that is happening, got this. Another instance of Serum, Corpus, adding a ring mod type of sound. And Tau Chorus giving it that width. Tau Chorus, a free plugin, I believe it is a Juno chorus. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is definitely a Roland chorus from a synth. I believe it's a Juno 6, possibly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it is a free plugin and it's awesome. And whilst those two layers are happening, you've got this riser. This riser made me choose the artwork for the track. So, listen, the track stopped. Still going. So, turn that off. It is a sample that I've transformed via reverb. This looks like it's been automated. A guitar, amp, sim. And this is my chain. This is when I want dreamy high guitar. There's a lot on that chain, but that riser became fundamental in the song later. Make sure I get this drum as well. Third snare. There you go. So one thing I will say, I had reference tracks that I just set out what I wanted this track to be. The verse is here, the pre is here, the chorus is here, verse is here, everything. Everything was kind of predetermined and I just laid it out. And that is why things are arranged in their pocket like so. Now that this was done, the only thing that was left to do was to give this to O-Tracks via exporting all the stems. Now, O-Tracks received these stems in a very, very unique manner. I actually sent them to him via SpaceX delivery systems. And here's some live footage of that happening.
Launch director on countdown 1. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Working this in.
GNC trajectory looks good on the Falcon Heavy.
As you can see on your screen, that re-entry burn for those two side wheels are backing up. There we go. That's all 60 of those Starlink satellites on their merry way.